Hey guys, with the All Blacks winning 1 out of their 2 games in New Zealand against Argentina, they've now named their 36-man squad to head up to South Africa to face off against the Springboks. So I thought, what better time than now to give you guys my 23-man squad to face off against the Springboks in South Africa. Before we do this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and let me know in the comment section below your 23-man squad to face off against the Springboks. Let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, let's just dive straight into this. So as you see right here, guys, this is the front row that I've selected. I've gone with the likes of Tamati Williams at the number 1, Cody Taylor at the number 2, and Tyrell Lomax at the number 3. I believe this is probably the most solid front row that I think the All Blacks can go with. Tamati Williams, it's a big call to put him in. With the news about Ethan de Groot not being available for selection, as he does have a neck injury, it just makes it more likely, I think, for Tamati Williams to get the opportunity to start in this game. Because, again, he had a brilliant performance, in that second test against the Pumas. So I think Robinson will, give him kind of the backing in this game. And against the Springboks, you're going to need a good scrummager. And I think that's exactly what Tamati Williams is. So I think Tamati gets in at number 1. Cody Taylor, I think he did a decent job throughout the game, did his job solidly, line-up throws, pretty consistent, I'd say. And yeah, he just has that experience. So I want to keep him as my number 2. And then, same with Tyrell Lomax. Again, another player who's highly experienced and it definitely the best scrummager that they have in terms of the tight heads. So that's the reason why Tyrell Lomax gets in there. So with the locks, I've decided to go with Scott Barrett as well as Sam Derry. I believe this is the best combination the All Blacks can go with in their first test against the Springboks. With Scott Barrett, it's just good to have him back because he wasn't available for those opening 2 tests against the Pumas. And with Sam Derry, I just believe he was the best lock that we saw throughout those 2 tests. He even got a try for himself as well. So he definitely proved his point that he, deserves an opportunity, I'd say, to face off against the Springboks. And I think he deserves it. Going even back, throughout the Super Rugby season, he's arguably one of the best locks then. So he's been able to kind of continue that form in the All Blacks in the opening two games in the Rugby Championship. And yeah, I think he's fully deserving of that role in terms of that 5 spot. But really, it's kind of just a bit of a blow, I'd say, with Patrick Chiboto as well, because he's not available, hasn't kind of passed the fitness test in time to be available to travel up with the squad as well. So it's a bit of a blow not to have him. But again, they have Josh Lord, who is going to take his place for these 2 games, just as kind of replacements in the way. But they also do have the likes of Tupou Vaahi, who I was considering, but I just don't think Tupou Vaahi, when I'm looking, it's really between him and Sam Derry, I believe, who kind of deserves to kind of partner with Scott Barrett. And I just think Sam Derry's done more, I think, throughout the opening 2 tests. So that's the reason why I think the Scott Barrett and Sam Derry combination will be the best for the All Blacks going into that first fixture against the Springboks. So with the loose forwards, I then decided to go with Ethan Blackadder at the number 6, Dalton Papali'i at the number 7, and Artur Sevilla at the number 8. I believe this is the best combination of the loose forwards that the All Blacks can select. With Ethan Blackadder, he's the sure thing in terms of that 6 jersey. He can go into the 7 if need be, but I just think the 6 is probably where he's best suited. And also, he's just been great from a tackling standpoint. He's had, I think, at least 20 plus tackles in both the tests against the Pumas. So he's definitely showed that he can kind of help the All Blacks from a defensive point of view. And he's done very well from a carrying standpoint as well. So he definitely gets in for number 6. Papali'i, I think, is the one where you can make an argument if he deserves to start, because out of all the 3 loose forwards, I think he has the least case in terms of what he's done so far throughout the opening 2 tests. But at the same time, I'm comparing him really between Sam Cane, Luke Jacobson, even Blackadder, if I want to put him up there and put Semi Pinafin at the 6. I just think Papali'i is probably the best player as a 7 in terms of the breakdown. I think he had 2 turnovers, I believe, with him both tests. And I just think that's crucial when going against the likes of the Springboks. I just think they're going to really ham you when it comes to those carries and I guess phases. They're going to want to drive you kind of through the middle. And I think Papali'i's going to be a good kind of player to have who can kind of stop that kind of momentum. So I think Papali'i is the player I want at 7, and also just think he deserves it. I just think he deserves it at the end of the day. So he's number 7. For number 8, this is where I come up Artur Sevilla. He's the sure thing in terms of number 8 jersey. He was pretty good in the opening test. He won a few key turnovers in that one, but in the second one, he was just sensational, and he was up there for a man of the match in my opinion. So yeah, he definitely is going into this game with some good form under his belt. And there's a player who's going to make an impact in that forward pack, it's going to be Artur Sevilla. So that's definitely the forward pack that I believe should go against the likes of the Springboks. So with the backs, I've then decided to go with Cortis Latimer at the number 9 and David McKenzie at the number 10. I believe this is the best combination that the All Blacks can go with. With McKenzie, I just think he's the sure thing in terms of that 10 jersey. I think he was the man of the match within that second test against the Pumas. He was sensational. Probably his best game, I think, really for the All Blacks in an All Blacks jersey. So he's definitely number 10 without a doubt. It's really more about the number 9, I'd say, that you can have a bit of a debate about, because TJ Perennar, I got to give him credit. He was really good within that second test against the Pumas. But I also want to see a switch. Honestly, I want to see Cortez Latimer in a number 9 jersey. I mean, that's the reason why I've gone with him there. And again, Latimer and McKenzie, they have the combination, ready with the Chiefs. They know how to play with each other. There won't be any I guess, lack of chemistry, just at least. And going into South Africa, I mean, I want to see Ratimer and McKenzie kind of put under pressure. And what better time than to go into the Springboks in South Africa? I mean, man, it's going to be good. I really want to see it happen because Cortez Latimer, I also believe he's the better passer of the ball in terms of speed compared to TJ Perennar. But at the same time, you could make the argument that TJ Perennar is a better box kicker than Cortez Latimer. So I can understand the different point of views, I guess, on this. I mean, look, if you guys let me know in the comments and you guys think that TJ Perennar deserves a start, I won't have any problem with that because he was pretty good within that second test. But I just want to see a change in that spot. I think that's really one where I just want to see Ratimer and McKenzie play against the Springboks. For the centres then, I've then gone the likes of Jordie Barrett at the number 12 and Rick Lawani at the number 13. I believe this is the best combination that the All Blacks can go with. I mean, it's a standard combination, but still the best. I know they can kind of tinker with that if they want to. Maybe put Anton Brown there at the 12 or even at the 13, or even like Billy Proctor if they wanted to. I just don't think you can change this. I think Jordie Barrett, he was great within that second test, made up for what he did in that first test. And Reiko, he kind of got back his starting place in that second test, and I thought he played a pretty good game. So I think he deserves to kind of stay in that number 13 jersey. And I just think the All Blacks just have to keep kind of a bit of resilience, really, in terms of kind of not changing that central combination, because honestly, I think that's the one thing of the All Blacks back line which I think has just worked pretty well, and I just don't think it just doesn't need to be changed. So that's the combination there for me in terms of the 12-13. In terms of the back three, this is where it gets a bit of a tricky situation here, because I've had to make a bold call and not put Beauden Barrett in my 15 jersey, and I've put Will Jordan there. I've put Will Jordan in the 15, and I've put Caleb Clark at the number 11, and then of course Mark Talay at the number 14. And look, it's a tough choice, this, because similar towards TJ Perennar, Beauden Barrett's been incredible for the All Blacks, under the Scott Robinson kind of regime and kind of what they've done so far. But I also think if you want to go against the Springboks, you need to have an injection of pace. And I think Will Jordan is just going to help you do that in terms of that fullback position. And then when you have the likes of Caleb Clark and Mark Talea on each wing, man, that is dangerous. And the Springboks will be kind of worried about who to kind of mark here, because they're all dangerous in terms of what they can do to the Springboks defense. So that's kind of what I want to see. And I don't believe the All Blacks would go with it, because I think they just love Beauden Barrett so much in that 15 jersey. And look, don't get me wrong, he's been great in that position, so I can't really question him on that front. It's just more about if they want to move forward and kind of play a new style of kind of footy, or kind of a new style of All Blacks rugby, Will Jordan's the way to do it. He is the centerpiece of how Scott Robinson can kind of transform this side. Played there countless times for the Crusaders guys in Super Rugby, and he has been sensational. So I want to see it happen within the All Blacks jersey. We still haven't seen it, which is mind-blowing to say the least, because he's been very good in that 14 jersey, guys. He's got, 33 tries out of 33 tests? That's a pretty incredible record. But if he wants to kind of keep that record, I honestly think he has to shift back towards the 15, because he'll have more opportunity on the ball and just more opportunity to kind of break through the line and, just help the All Blacks win. So that's what I would go with in terms of my back three for the All Blacks. Look, that is the starting lineup right there, guys. But in terms of the bench that I've selected, I have gone with a 5-3 split. I was actually considering a 6-2, but I just think the All Blacks are more likely to go with a 5-3. And just for cover's sake, I think a 5-3 makes more sense in terms of the players they have. So this is the bench right here that I've gone with. And I think it's a pretty standard bench, but still it's something which I believe can make an impact in this game. I believe Asaf Moore is the best choice hooker really to come off the bench, so he's kind of a replacement hooker there. I've then gone with the likes of Alfatunga Fassi and Pascal Tosi as the kind of backup props there. I mean, again, Alpha gets in because Ethan de Groot is unavailable. I think Alpha wouldn't have not got in if Ethan de Groot wasn't available. There is George Bauer, who's been called up, of course, in Ethan de Groot's place, but I just don't think he's going to be ready in time. And I'd still choose Offatunga over George Barrett any day of the week. So he gets in there. Yeah, and then for Tossie, I mean, I just think he's a great player to have off the bench. He can make an immediate impact when it comes to those set pieces, particularly the scrum. And yeah, just he's a big player as well. So it's going to take a lot to kind of take him down. So yeah, he's another player that I want to see kind of included in this side. But yeah, in terms of the lock, I've gone with Tupou. I think he's just the sure thing. Again, you can consider Josh Holt if you want, but I just think Tupou is the better lock. And then yeah, in terms of the final loose forward, I've selected Sam Cane here, and I just think Sam Cane deserves it. I think out of all the loose forwards, yes, I think the only one that would you can make an argument for is Luke Jacobson, just because he's more versatile than Sam Cane, where he can play all three of the positions in terms of 6, 7, 8. And again, he just brings you that experience. You need experience when you're going against the likes of the Springboks. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about in terms of his selection. And I think he also proved that he can still make an impact for the All Blacks coming off the bench and what he did in that second test against the Pumas. So that's the reason why I've selected him there. In terms of the backs, I've then gone with the likes of Tito Renard to come off the bench here. I don't have to go too much more into him. He's just a great player off the bench, and that's what he's kind of been known for in terms of what he's done for the All Blacks for the countless years. So I think we'll have no problem kind of fitting into that place. And then, yeah, with the other players, of course, this is where I've gone with Beauden Barrett as kind of replacement 10/15, even off you cover in that standpoint. And again, he's on form, so he can do the job in that position. And of course, Anton Brown to finish it off. So yeah, I just think it's a good bench, can make an immediate impact. And again, you want to at least counteract the Springboks bench as much as you can. I believe that bench is strong enough to kind of do that. So that's also what came into my thinking as well. But yeah, that's it, guys. That is my 23-man squad for the All Blacks to face off against the Springboks in South Africa. Let me know your thoughts about this squad, guys. I want to see your 23-man squad as well, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure, guys, to like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.